this episode of Politics Spotlight. Thank God it is Friday. Let us begin this conversation with section 115 subsection D of the Electoral Act 2022 in respect of nomination offences. It states that it's an offence when a person signs a nomination paper or result form as a candidate in more than one constituency at the same election. A legal luminary and senior advocate of Nigeria, Femi Falana, has contended that under the newly amended Electoral Act 2022, political leaders like Senate President Ahmed Lawan and former Minister of Niger Delta, Godswill Akpabio, risked 2 years imprisonment for double nomination in the just concluded party primaries. Falana also said that the attitude of political leaders in the country to obey simple law is worrisome. On Politics Spotlight today, we want to consider the role and the compliance of electoral law in the Nigeria's political democracy, practical democracy. And of course, on the program today is with me, Barrister Wale Ogunade, President, Voters Awareness Initiative. And I am Additional Olanrewaju. The conversation begins after this break. All right, perhaps just joining us. This is still Politics Spotlight, and of course, my guest today is Barrister Wale Ogunade, President, Voters Awareness Initiative, and of course today we are considering the role and compliance of electoral acts in the Nigeria's practical democracy. Let's begin this conversation, Barrister, with. What's the biggest anxiety? The biggest, of course, you have your organization is into educating, creating awareness for eligible voters in the country. Now, as you go ahead with this advocacy, what is your biggest or greatest challenge or anxiety as we approach 2023 general election?
My anxiety is that indeed we're going to get it right. My anxiety is on the positive side because when we started the democratic journey in 1999, it wasn't like this. And events and results that happened in Osun last week is something cheerful about. Cheerful in the sense that issues of the vote not counting is out of it. Issues of ballot paper snatching is out of it, or even ballot box snatching are out of it. Issues of late arrival of electoral materials are out of it. Issues of monitoring and managing the political process on the day of elections have been reduced to the barest minimum. And issues of even the conduct of all those stakeholders have even improved. And to that extent, my anxiety is now very, very, very high in terms of on the positive side that we are going to get it right come 2023. And the second leg of my anxiety that we're going to get it right, I'm using that word so as just in a measured term, anxiety, is that I'm anxious that to get through this stage of a failed political process and where the electoral process will now be looked on and upon by everyone involved that yes, we have then gotten there. And where am I saying? The Electoral Act 2022 is a great pointer towards sanitizing the electoral process itself, and it has started because the use of the Electoral Act for Ekiti and Osun has brought out some big pluses.
Let's do an analysis between your Ekiti State governorship election and your Osun State governorship election. Then Another thing is, he said, is shameful. What's shameful about the Osun State election? Of course, we have the same old set of people who have been in government, or who have been aspiring to be. Same set of people clinched a ticket. What's shameful about that?
What's shameful about it is that power changed hands through a democratic process, through a peaceful process, through a less rancorous process, and above all, through a civil manner. And if I would just explain this those few points one by one, the environment was clement enough. 4 years ago, the whole place still, after the election, in fact, the stress of the post-election was far more than the pre-election and during election. We have peace. Go to Osogbo, go to Iragbiji, go to Ikire, go to all the places, maybe Oduabo, Ife, go to Ede, go to Iwo, go to, where is this now? Iraq, I've mentioned Iragbiji, all these places that I've mentioned earlier on. You get there and you see that Ede, did I mention Ede? Go to Ede and Iwo, you see that there is peace there, Okuku. You see peace there, peace because Bongon. You see peace, what's this now that after Bongon? Yes, you see peace all over those places.
Ikire.
I mentioned Ikire. So where am I going? Is that the elections now, we are moving forward. The Electoral Act has helped in sanitizing the process. The Nigerian people too, they are waking up to their responsibilities. INEC itself is now on its toes, ensuring that they monitor the elections very well. Okay,
so how about, let's talk about the power of incumbency. Is this something also to be cheerful about?
Well, I would say that I'm cheerful that the power of incumbency has not been demystified. Before, you see that indeed incumbents don't lose elections, but this time around, it's quite glaring that an incumbent can lose his election. And it's quite clear because there was no noise all over, so it's not the issue of the process being manipulated in favor of the incumbent. The incumbent even has agreed that indeed the elections was won fair and square. So to me, it was okay. It was okay that indeed the way it went.
Okay, so let's talk about you. Of course, your organization is Voters Awareness Initiative. Now, you are in best position to tell us what are the issues voters should focus on as 2023 election draws in. What should be the focus of voters?
The first thing is that voters should go get their PVCs.
Okay.
We have less than a week for it to go.
Less than 30 days.
And in between those 3 days, a lot of things can go. You can just sacrifice your time to ensuring that you get your PVC. Okay. My only appeal is that I know Nigerians very well. They are last minuters. Yeah. You can be sure that tomorrow, next tomorrow, they will storm the various registration points seeking how to get registered, and they will be in drops. Like the places that I went, many a times I will go to some places because of the stress of a crowd on the registration of INEC officers working on there. Sometimes they will lead to maybe a temporary stoppage or even total stoppage of activities that day. And of course, it doesn't go well with the process. So what I'm advising is and advocating is that INEC, if they can open the window a bit for us again, because I know that there will be a surge tomorrow and next tomorrow. And I don't think it will be okay for some people who haven't even struggled to present themselves are not given the opportunity to register. That is one. Two, the people, the voters themselves who wants to register, I advise them that whenever they get to the various polling registration point, they should conduct themselves orderly. Once those people are there, they will get them registered. That's what I do tell them whenever I go out to monitor what is happening and the level of compliance with the procedures for registering, that the people should cooperate with INEC officials and so on and so forth. And it has been bringing results. So I'm advising you, and I want to advocate and plead to our voters out there that they should please, while turning out a mass to go and register, they should again conduct themselves, make sure that they are peaceful, and even encourage the adult staff and those who are involved in the registration process so that it will go on seamlessly, smoothly, and at the end of the day, everybody will be happy.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, everybody will be happy. All right, let's talk about the issue of insecurity. People, perhaps because of the insecurity in the society, let's use Lagos as an example. Lagos, as at last count, the number of registered voters in Lagos alone is about 6 million. But when it comes to election, we have less than about 1 million. What is the initiative of your movement doing to educate people on coming out, get their PVC, and coming out to vote?
Sensitization,
okay,
awareness,
okay,
and education. All they are rolled into one, and they are the same anyway. But for our awareness is to encourage people, talk to them through various platforms, physical contacts, town hall meetings, street talk, personal interaction. We go out we do street shows, which again we'll be going around Lagos, Oyo, Ogun, Ondo. We'll go to Kogi. We plan to go to Kaduna. We plan to go to Abuja itself, Port Harcourt, Enugu. We plan to be in Bayelsa and so on in the next 2-3 months. Before December, we'll have gone around Nigeria in the area of sensitization, creating awareness, and of course, educating people on their civic and political rights, on the importance of them partaking in the electoral process, and for them in all totality, not only to just partake, but they should partake civilly, and of course, with some elements of responsibility.
All right, let's dive into a number of the issue of constitution and the issue of insecurity in the country as we prepare for the general election. What does the Constitution say about holding or organizing an election in an unsecured or unrest environment?
The Constitution did not say anything about it because the Constitution did not envisage that there will be crisis of this magnitude that we have. But obviously, it is a clear thing that the Constitution again makes provision that when it is impracticable, or unreasonable, or unrealistic to hold an election in a point, then that election will not hold, and it will not affect the result of the election. So someone cannot say, yes, because they did not hold the election in my area, our election generally is null and void. No, because they all know that we call something force majeure. Maybe that, of course, is as a result of force majeure, which is an act of God, or even circumstances and situations beyond one's control that cause that situation to happen. And because of that, obviously, there's nothing one can do. All you need to do is that you subtract, or you just abandon those votes. Sometimes they may have started voting, and it is found out that even in some areas where there is no violence or insecurity, just even in a peaceful environment, once it is seen that the vote cannot be counted because of some procedural irregularities, obviously the vote will not be counted indeed. They will declare that the election of that place to be cancelled, and that's all. All
right. On the issue of election or votes don't count, there is the belief that, of course, that's why a number of voters don't want to come out to vote. What is your take on this erroneous belief? Does vote count in Nigeria?
I won't go too far. The short answer is the election that took place maybe some 10 days ago. The vote counted. If someone was in government, and another person came, not through a coup, not through a fight, not through argument, not through a fisticuffs. People came out and voted their right choice. And that was reflected in the result. And we see peace all over. So anyone who is in doubt about the vote counting now should know that indeed we are past that stage. The vote counts, and indeed counts.
Okay, talking about the issue of political leaders coming to during their campaigning process coming to tell us this is what they would do, this is what they would do. They are going to build bridges, they are going to making promises. And at the end of the day, they don't deliver. Yeah. What is your take on that, and what message would you send to political leaders who promise and fail?
Politics is about promises.
Okay.
Promises is about politics. There is no politician who will not promise, because that's the product they sell. And that's what makes them politicians. Like someone was telling me yesterday, very senior, very well-groomed politicians was telling me that, well-groomed politician was telling me that you polish the tricks. When you polish the tricks, then you're a good politician. You tell lies. You give people what they want to hear. And once that is done, then you are good to go. People want to hear something fantastic. They want to hear something that is wonderful. They want to hear something that is incredible. Something beyond their imagination. That's what people want. But you come out and say, yes, I'm going to ensure that I task you. I'm going to ensure that everybody works very well. I'm going to ensure that all of us put on the working shoe and ensure that there is no free lunch or cheap money anywhere. They will look at the person that this one is not serious. Is it the work that you want to work? Can you finish the work? Please, let's go. They will now look for somebody who has come with a bag of lies, tell them all the lies they can, after well-polished lies, and of course fall for it, and you'll find out that what they will be gnashing their teeth for more than 4 years, or for 4 years that the guard will be in office, and of course their street, their area, their town, their state, even the nation will be worse off, and that's what you are witnessing. I don't know about you, and I don't know about those who are watching us, but I know that I go to the hinterland, and I know what I see in terms of development. And those are those areas. I now ask them, don't your representative, don't politicians come here during elections?
Tell us more about the underdevelopment that you met at the
anyone who has been to Lagos State, particularly to Lagos, Ikeja, particularly to Ikeja and Lagos Island. I won't go to Egudemeta, I won't go to Shomolu, to Ikeja. You know what we are talking about, development. And you compare that to a place like Yakoyo or Eduabo, or a place like even, I'm thinking of somewhere, Ikene, even Ikene, or somewhere close to Lagos, even Mowe, even this Ashishi. Can't compare the developments and look at it. Because some people, let me land, please. Okay. Because some people have gotten their hands through some funds, they are self-developing Banana Island and the Lekki axis to the detriment of other sides of Nigeria. And one will expect that politicians go to these places because those places are where the votes are. The elites don't vote, it is the commoners that vote. And the votes resides with the commoners. There's a place called Okeogun in Oyo State. Those are those who determine the votes in Oyo State. The Osogbo itself is the place that determines the votes in Osho State. Each state has the vote-giving population. Like Lagos now, it is Alimosho. So when you go around, you see these places that are always delivering. And there's nothing to show for it. Obviously, you look at it, why are the people not politically awake? Why are they not politically savvy to know that the best way to punish and send politicians who fail them into political hierarchy and their political grief is to vote them out and refuse to vote for them? Because this apparatus and the resources of the state should be spread evenly, not to some people who are in government, and the people who are not in government are given the short end of the stick, and at the end of the day, having voted, they are now made to suffer. And it is not right. It is not good. So the best thing is that this is the time. Thank God for programs like this. Thank God for organizations like us. We have to sensitize Nigerians that enough is enough of taking us for a ride and leading us by the nose, giving us promises which they know they cannot work on, they cannot accomplish. And if you give people promises and you make promises and you can't accomplish it, it is not good. I won't go to the Bible this time around for it, but we just know that even morally speaking, it is bad. So you know you have nothing to offer, stay away so as not to crowd the space and discourage those who have something to offer to come up. Ghana was in a big financial problem, and its citizens were in Nigeria about 30, 35 years ago. They were hewers of wood and drawers of waters for us. You see them, all sorts of million jobs and so on. But here now, the story has changed. They got it right because they followed the political route. They chose their leaders right. And here we are today. They are managing their economy, they are managing their country, and they are managing themselves to the admiration of other countries in the world, the West. So Nigeria can even do better than Ghana. And I think that this is the right time we can get it done politically. Because I tell you, we can only get Nigeria moving politically, not prayers. Prayers is a second leg. The Bible tells me that pray, and prayer without works. So there's nothing, no work. The political party, the politicians are not working. All they are interested is in the rat matters of the office, the paparazzi of the office, the work itself, they are not doing it. And if they do the work, then definitely they will have the backing of the people.
Talking about the politicians are working, of course, you will see a politician coming to an aspect of the state. For example, in Ogun State, you will see the government going to somewhere, Shagamu, to do a segment of work, like you said there, why they leave other areas like Adodota, Ikene, they leave that area. They decided to work in a particular constituent or area. What is your take on such an act of work by political leaders?
Well, there are two ways about that. The first one is that there is no community that has no representative in government. You have them as councillors. You have them as local government chairman. You have them as those who represent you in the House of Assembly. You have them as those who represent you in the National Assembly, that's House of Rep and Senate. And you have them as even commissioners. You have them as special assistants. You have them as politicians, even the political party themselves, which are in every ward. So the people keep quiet, and it brings the song of fella, suffering and smiling, to the fore. So if they keep quiet, those people will just look at it that they are okay.
The commissioner cannot execute a particular project in his constituency without not the approval of Mr. Governor. Yes,
even with the ESCO. But he represents his people. He is the middleman between them and the governor. They voted for the governor. They did not vote the commissioner. The commissioner is just a party man generally, though sometimes they import these people, either within or outside the state or country. But the commissioner is deemed to be working with the president, with the governor or the president. So he's his eyes. I don't have access to the governor, but the commissioner has access to the governor. And I, knowing that the commissioner has access to the governor, it behoves of me and other members who are voters in his community to call him. This is our problems, this is our needs, this is what we need for development, to develop our economy, our environment. And we want you to tell Mr. Governor that this is what we want. Failure of which will begin to move against Mr. Governor. For your information, I hope this one, people will listen to me very well. The people can impeach a governor. All you need to do is to put stress on their representative who are in the House of Assembly. Maybe you do a recall of one.
I think something played out in Edo State.
So, it's doable. All you need to do is to work on it, and of course, move against those who are making life difficult for you, because you can't continue like this. This is the 7th month in the year, and I guess it only have 3 days to go or 4 days to go for this month to go.
Yeah.
After that, you get into the 8th month. Before you know it now, it is January, it is December 2022. And some people, as I'm talking to you now, have not done anything in terms of business. They have not earned anything in terms of profit. They have not been involved in anything profitable because they are still on the realm of expectations. And some people have run into serious losses, which are imaginable. So, but where am I going is that in all this, the state plays no role. You are just an Oyo man. What does it mean? You are on your own. Which shouldn't be. Everyone is running. You go to the streets every day, you see people just running up and down because they are following the principle of give us this day our daily bread. There is no safety net for anybody. Whereas it should be with the humongous amounts of money we are making, and for you to know that we are having humongous amounts of money. Once a public officer is caught or is apprehended or is exposed, not only in Naira, you hear them having funds, serious funds, in fact, mind-boggling funds in dollars and other currencies of the world. It shows that because the Nigerian people have left their political servants, not their leaders, political servants alone. And it's an aberration that you have somebody who is working for you, you do not supervise. Obviously, the person will do whatever he likes. In economic parlance, we call it giving someone a blank check. And once you give someone a blank check, he picks anything he wants to pick. That's what is happening. But I thank God for your question, and I thank God for the wisdom. This is an opportunity for us to right this wrong, because out there are people who are ready to work for Nigeria. There are people who are ready to display their skills for Nigeria. But some other persons who think that Nigeria belongs to them don't want it to happen. But I can assure you that it's going to happen. We are going to have a Nigeria of our dreams.
You're calling for a revolution?
No. I'm an activist. Okay. I'm a Democrat. I'm a lawyer. No doubt my own trait is that of good governance. And we'll get it. Not through revolution, but through the ballot box. It happened in Oyo State, in Osun State. Nobody believed that, we can have a ballot of that sort, easy going and so on. Those who try to foment trouble, their wings were clipped. The same way, we don't need any revolution. All we need to do is that when people will find out that there are people who are not doing the right thing, they have procedure, they are the recall system for members of the House of Assembly, and we take it up from there. From your member of House of Assembly, Section 109 of the 1999 Constitution, you take it up to the National Assembly under Section 69 of the National Assembly. Those who you think are not making things easy for you, those who think are not representing you very well, those who think that are not giving your community and where they represent the dividends of democracy, you take steps against them, you call yourself together, and of course mobilize, have a signature. Just 1/3 of members of a community is enough, or a constituency is enough. You take it to INEC, and of course INEC will call for a referendum, and with the referendum, if the person is unlucky, he gets out, you boot him out. It's not hereditary. It is not his father's property. It's not his right to be there forever.
But Barrister, it seems like Nigerians don't give give credit to the judiciary system of the country. They've lost hope. It's supposed to be the last hope of the common man.
No. Anyone who loses hope does that at his own peril. Because the judiciary is still the last hope of the common man. And
it's still effective.
It's still effective. You see, the judiciary cannot go out and manufacture or present case to itself. It's people who are aggrieved and who feel strong about it that will go and approach the court for the court to give an interpretation or to make a pronouncement about something. The judiciary cannot, so motu of its own, decide to do anything. Right. And because the judiciary cannot do that, they are there. The things are there. What you want within the breast, as you call it, of the judiciary. All you need to do is that you go there and ask for it. The judiciary is not a Father Christmas. He will not give you what is not asked for. And he cannot be saying, yes, okay, you people are suffering. Okay, I make a law. You, Buhari, go and give them, go and construct truth there. No. It is when the people ask for it, then the judiciary will look at it based on their submissions, and it will make a rule or a judgment in that regard.
Right. Before we begin to wrap it up, let's dive in a little bit into the section 115 subsection D of the Electoral Act as amended in 2022. What is your take on it? Of course, the legal luminary, Femi Falana, has said that the likes of the Senate President, Ahmed Lawan, and the Gospel Akpabio should be jailed. They should be jailed for 2 years, having fought this act, having go against this act. What is your take on that?
I don't know, maybe Akpabio is back or not, but be that as it may, the law is clear. The law is very clear as to how things are done and how things should not be done. And in Nigeria, really, the law is always observed in breaches rather than in observance. What I mean is that laws are not obeyed generally in Nigeria. Both the poor and the rich, the high and the small, we are all a combination of lawbreakers. For you to know what I'm saying, you go, you walk on the street, you see, even somebody who is not supposed to walk on the street, there are some places that have walkway. They are walking on the street, walking legs with your leg. You see the people in the motorcycles walking against the traffic and riding against the traffic, not to talk of vehicle car owners. Then the worst are the law enforcement agents who think it is their right to drive against traffic. And they do it with impunity. So when we leave that, we now go to the inside sphere of Nigerians' life. Buying and selling. You go to a shop, you go to the market, how much is this thing? It is 20,000 naira, it is 2,000 naira. You go to the next shop, it is 25,000 naira, it is 8,000 naira. You say, they say, that's how I want to sell my thing. Nobody does anything, no price control, no control whatsoever. If I want to say it, if I want to even present it generally now, which everyone is even experiencing, you go to a filling station now, 165. You go somewhere, 170, 180, 190, 200, 210. Are there not corruptions? Are there not law breaking? Well, are we following the rule of law? Is it the judiciary that is causing these things?
So is that a ground for the likes of the Senate President?
No, I'm going somewhere.
All right.
I'm going somewhere. So if it goes round, everybody will say that, me too, I will do my own. I'll conduct my own, I'll partake in my own, I'll do everything. But when there are rules and regulation that is enforced, there are institutions that enforce, let's say the police, is now seriously encouraged, is now seriously equipped to arrest and to ensure that anybody who does commits any misdemeanor quickly faces the wrath. Quickly is made to face the wrath of the law. You see that people will begin to obey and begin to curtail. But you see, in other climes, no matter who you are, Senate President or governor or whoever, the law is above you. And for you to know, that's why Olanrewaju, as we are talking now, is still is under custody. Because the law is not respectful of persons in those jurisdictions. I wouldn't know, maybe you saw it, a viral video of one person who was a governor before, who thought he's in Nigeria, in America, recently, just last week or so, in America, and he saw someone who was saying, oh, you, look at you, here and go. The guy was talking to him, and he thought he was in Nigeria. He wanted to pounce on the guy and take his camera.
No, that's how they do.
So that one told him that if you dare touch me, you think it's in Nigeria that you people are behaving anyhow, nonsense and so on. And he remembered that that's true. I'm not in America. I am not in Nigeria. He maintained his cool.
Even with his wife.
But if it were in Nigeria, you can be sure that the security agents will have beaten him black and blue.
You're right.
And nobody cares. Impunity. So we are talking about how people should respect rules and regulations. And it's unfortunate that this same Lawal is the head of the law-making body in this country. And he's the one who made the law, unfortunately.
Have to package the law.
Not even package. He's the Senate president. So he's the one who made the law. So you, the lawmaker, now is the lawbreaker.
All right. So I'm going to put this to you finally as we coast home. What's your take on this on the disregard of law by politicians? What do you think causes disregard? Is the judiciary system weakening?
Well,
and then what's your take on, what's your advice on the compliance of law by political leaders or politicians?
Compliance.
Obedience.
The obedience to law, rule and regulations, law and order in Nigeria is obeyed, just as I told you, depending on how it is carried out and the way it is pronounced, it is made. But what I know is that most of these politicians give them they give themselves some imaginary clout, which the law enforcement officers how do I put this word now? Intimidated with, and because of that, they see them as untouchable. And whereas there is nobody who is untouchable. And you saw it in the various primaries that took place, including this one that happened. That because of the way he behaved as an untouchable, he lost his opportunity of going back to the Senate on a platter of gold. Obviously, maybe it can happen again through the back door, but that's what is the bane of the Nigerian politician.
If it comes by the back door, it's also an infringement on the law.
You see what I'm saying? So, the law is something that is no respecter of persons, and anyone who thinks that yes, he can roughshod over the law is just for some time, because we are going to the level where the law will not be respecter of persons.
All right, we are going to a level where the law will not be a respecter of anybody. I want to thank you for being our guest today, and we hope that when we send our invitation to you, you grant our audience. You grant us the audience.
To God be the glory.
Many thanks for joining us on the program today. It is, of course, our Politics Spotlight. Until when I come your way next time, God bless you and God bless Nigeria.
Amen.